Hello, and welcome to the fourth chapter in our mini-series, Adapting Your Leadership in Times of Change. In the last few chapters, we have seen several concepts. The first is the W model. Next, we explored the 3 leadership forms. Then, we finally went through the different ways on how employees can respond to change. If you haven't had the chance to see these videos, you can find the link in the description below. In this video, we will combine these 3 concepts in order to develop our action plan and to execute our leadership during such a period. To do so, we will look at the 3 main phases. In phase 1, which is the shock, you must first conduct an objective analysis of the facts, even if you only have partial information. The economic, social, human, and structural impacts must be assessed, and a short-term picture must be drawn. Hypotheses about long-term impacts and the outline of a clear action plan must be developed, even if it is not perfect. At this stage, we have to make difficult decisions that are often unpopular. During this stage, the preferred approach is mostly transactional. We also want to inspire people by being transformational. In reality, it is often necessary to be more directive. In addition, we must pay particular attention to the wounded warriors who need to be reassured. It is essential that employees feel that you have the situation under control. Employees should perceive that your actions address the situation in the short term and that you have a long-term vision as well. In phase 2, which is the transition period, the shock has now passed and the change must be implemented. You must now tackle the details, adapt the plan even if it means going backwards, and it is essential that at this stage the long-term vision is clear to all members of management. Here we must communicate with people and listen to them. Change must be implemented. On the other hand, you need to be willing to negotiate certain accommodations. And at this point, it must be clear what is negotiable and what is not. We are aiming for a win-win approach. The preferable approach should therefore be partially transactional because we must be very clear about the objectives and modalities of the change. But at the same time, it should be transformational because we involve people and we want them to take responsibility for the change. At this stage, we are focusing our attention on the 2 groups that are the positive side because they will be our allies in achieving the change. On the other hand, we must also listen to the critics who sometimes have interesting points of view about the situation. When their concerns are taken into consideration, we can sometimes turn them into active supporters. In the case of wounded warriors, they are often taken care of by the loyal followers and the active supporters. You do not ignore the wounded warriors. However, you should focus your energy on the other 3 groups. The final phase is the integration stage. It is during this stage that we want employees to be fully engaged in the new reality. Here, we want to promote the vision. We want to limit the attention that is devoted to the operational aspects, the short term, and focus on the long-term objectives. You are trying to create a positive work climate that fosters discussion and problem solving, to manage conflict and to maintain harmony among employees. You will play the role of a coach and act as a role model to your resources. The preferred approach is therefore clearly of a transformational nature. In addition, you want to give all your attention to employees who are positive and who fully embrace the change. Adhering to these phases maximizes the change's benefits while minimizing problems and resistance that are usually associated with it. Now that we have gone through the best practices in supporting your resources during a period of change, what can we do as a leader? To find out the answer to this question, I invite you to watch the last chapter of this series. You can go directly to it by clicking in the link below. See you there.